I'ma never slow down. I'ma go out with my guns blazing. I'ma steal the show now. When I'm done, it'll be amazing. There's no limits where I go now. I will never ever be caged in. I'ma shine, I'ma glow.
What up, squad? MizzyWorld. I'm here with my boy DMRV. If y'all seen, I ain't know what you said. I ain't know what you said.
The camera won't catch that. The camera won't catch that.
So if y'all seen if you seen MizzyWorld lately, y'all know I just did my review on his most recent project, Sins. And if you've really been on my joint, y'all know he is one of the first artists that I did my shout out video for his music. Now it's time for the interview. What's up, bro?
I can't call it, man. First of all, much appreciation for that shout out too. That shit was definitely dope when you did that.
You already know, bro.
That was one of my first times really like having somebody that wasn't just in my immediate circle, like posting my shit like that. That was like one of the first times, and I was real hype about that. I appreciated that 100%.
You already know, bro. I already do it because we just need more shine in Philly, man. Y'all motherfuckers be dope. Yeah, but I did it because I feel as though Philly just need to be more band together and be more like down south, and even like just support each other music more. You feel what I'm saying? And I got away from it for a while. Like I remember I was just heavy on the headshot and the top class wave, but then once that shit died down, I got kind of away from the Philly wave. Then me and B, we were sitting there. It started with Sick, and then it just took off from there. And my first question to you, because I want this interview to be more about your project Sins and the whole production of it and how you came about to doing it and all that.
Right.
But before I get into that, I got a few questions for you. The first one is, we went to high school together and all that. I didn't know you rapped in high school. When did you start rapping, bro?
Yeah, that's crazy. I mean, there's a lot of people that knew I rapped in high school.
I kind of have like a vague, maybe a little remembering, but not nothing too crazy.
I mean, I started rap. It's crazy because definitely you gotta shout out. I feel like you have to, as a Philly MC, you gotta shout out Philly headshots and top class, and you know just the Touch Money, Bloodhound crews and everything, because like they really set a foundation for us young artists to like. They set a bar. Right. You know,
what's expected.
It was a long period of time. Mainstream wasn't nothing I was listening to. Like there was a period of time you couldn't tell me Meek Mill wasn't better than Jay-Z.
Right.
I was like,
that's real shit though. And at the time Wayne was popping the most, and niggas was like, no, Meek is the best. That's what I be saying. Like, people don't really realize, like, niggas didn't just start saying that shit about Meek. Niggas was saying that shit about Meek
long time.
Like since like what, like 05, 06, you feel what I'm saying?
I was about to say, because Wayne was the only person I listened to over me. Like that was just it was Wayne, Meek, and then so on and so forth, and everybody else that was in there.
Patty was my boy at the time.
Well, I mean, NH was really my guy too.
Right.
Style was everything, but yeah, I started rapping because I watched the Philly versus Harrisburg DVD. So that was like, I started rapping like 10, 11, and I always knew I wanted to do something with music because my pop was a famous singer over in Germany and shit. And my mom, she did acting and everything. She performed in a few plays, but so you
just got that creativity up in you, basically.
Yeah, like it kind of was always my thing. My first time really recognizing that my dad was on TV. Like I was living over in Germany, and he's sitting there talking to the camera and everything. He's like, I want to give a shout out to my son Emmanuel, his Nathaniel, and it was just like one of the dopest moments. And I remember watching video of him doing backflips on stage, they performing and shit like that was just so exciting for me. And I knew I wanted to do music. Rap wasn't my first thing. I started off trying to make beats, but when I was younger, I ain't really have the same determination.
Okay, right.
It was a different dedication, and everything was kind of like I had to teach myself that. And so beats, because I didn't get it right away, I was like, all right, I ain't gonna do that. But watching Philly versus Harrisburg, it's just something sparked in me. I was like, that's what I want to do. I want to rap, and like, I just from that point always knew, no matter what, win, lose, or draw, I'm gonna be a rapper. Like Beethoven died broke. Right. You mean? So, but his music is revered, like all around the world to this day. Right. I know I want to be a rapper. That's what I knew I wanted to do. So I've been rapping since like 10, 11.
10, 11? Yeah. So you want to speak on your name? DMRV. I'm curious to how you came about your name and what's the significance of it.
Well, the biggest significance to it is because it's not really like just attached to an idea. It's a embodiment of a name is a name.
Right.
It don't matter what you call me. I'm called a lot of things throughout. Wherever you go, it might be a different name you hear me by. Some people call me Mitch, some people call me E, some people call me O. It just depends. So a name is a name. I'm not attached to a name. I'm a physical presence and an energy. So whatever it is, I just want you to strike it up in a positive note. Daytona Mitch Runco Vita is what DMRV is. 4 long ass names. Most people ain't gonna want to say it, but you could call me Daytona. Some people do. A lot of people call me Mitch. You could call me Runco. You could call me all these things. It's just about the fact that you speaking me up, and that's love right there. But the way it came about, though, to just tie it in, I was originally called Barry Bats.
Matter of fact, now it bring it back to me. Rapping in high school, Barry Bats. It bring it right back
Exactly.
now. Like the little battle scenes and all that.
So I used to go by Barry Bats, which was funny because I got the name from Goodfellas, and I was watching it back in the time where you could still have a small screen TV. So at the credits, like I always, like, you know, everybody always picked like Italian mobsters for rap names. And when I was a young boy, you try to be into the scene, like, all right, I'm gonna get a mobster name, da da da. So I'm watching Goodfellas and everything, and I'm looking at the great movie. I'm looking at the credits and shit. So I'm like, all right, I'm gonna just pick any one of these names. I don't really care which one it is at the time. That's how misguided I was. I'm like, I'm gonna pick any one of these joints. And the screen was so small, I thought the shit said Barry Bats. When the character was Billy Bats.
That's right.
And especially after watching the movie, if I would have known that shit said Billy Bats, I would have fucking like not chose that name. I was like, oh shit, damn. I was like, oh man, this is like years after. I'm like, shit, I'm picking
you got that?
Damn. It was supposed to be Billy Bats.
Right.
Good looking for that singer. I appreciate it.
There y'all.
Good looking.
I'm here, y'all. But
that shit was like watching the Bacon.
That was a good thing that you didn't know that, like you said, it was Billy Bats, because his role was getting stomped the fuck in. He was in there briefly, and his role
I think because I didn't go with Billy Bats, people didn't really like, damn, you chose that? It's like, maybe there's like, I don't know where he got that from. But I would have definitely chose something different. But, so, I'm running with Barry Bats, you know, and I'm so attached to it, but at the same time, what the scene was and how I'm so influenced by it, I'll never forget my pop telling me one day, he's like, son, you gotta understand, like, the shit that you saying, it, you know, it's cool, but is it long lasting? And even then, you won't attract a lot of shit to you. You gotta be careful about that. And one thing about it is, I always 100% believe whatever you rap about, you should like embody. You should be able to back up anything you say.
Right.
So
completely agree.
Yeah, it's like you really, really have the ability to influence so many people. When you get exposed for a fraud, it's kind of like the first time a kid hearing Santa Claus ain't real.
So that's a letdown.
Oh shit, wait, what? Yeah, it's like the world don't make no sense anymore. It's nothing that matters.
Right.
You know,
and you doing that to millions of people once you let them down and you get exposed for not being what you talk about and you rap about. So.
But then if you are in a position where you talking a bunch of gun shit, street shit and everything, if you want to prove that, there's a lot of consequences will come with that. And then at the same time, what are you really giving the youth?
Right.
Like, if I go to jail, that's just teaching the young boys, like, it's cool to shoot it out and go to jail. Don't matter.
Right.
Life don't matter.
Exactly.
Like,
exactly.
It don't.
And then you got them thinking that that's the life that they got to live until. Yeah. And they may have creativity and they may want to do music, but they feeling as though to be like you because you're so influencing that they got to live that same lifestyle until they get to that point.
Exactly.
You feel what I'm saying?
Exactly.
And they don't realize the risk of that. A lot of people don't realize the risk of that and how fast the streets can swallow you up, man.
And you know what? The craziest thing is the same people that are championing you while you outside doing that, once you go in, you an afterthought.
Of course.
You
Of course. People be thinking, oh no, that's my bro. He said he gonna do this, he gonna do that. As soon as you get up in there, they not writing you no more. You feel what I'm saying? They not gonna call you. You feel what I'm saying? And the crazy thing is gonna be your mom. It's gonna be the people that you know really love you that's gonna write you and come visit you and do all that shit.
The people that you should
or the people
in the first place.
Exactly. Or it's gonna be like them people that wasn't on the block with you. You feel what I'm saying? Writing you and all that shit. You feel what I'm saying? The people that you was shooting it out for, they like, man.
You have a bunch of fans out there writing you that you could have been out there making music for.
Exactly.
You mean?
While the people that you done got in this situation for, they done forgot about you.
So I realized that, and like, you know, I'm like, I want to be a rapper. This is what I want to do. But I want to be an artist. Like, I want to take this to the next level. So I got to come up with something that's going to be a little bit more different. You're not going to come across this name type of thing. And I had went through a couple situations where I had finally went down Florida on a family vacation, and we chilling on Daytona Beach. I was already called Mitch a couple times. You know, people would call me Money Mitch and everything, like from the movie and shit. So I always would kind of run with the Mitch thing. It was kind of cool to me. And I'm just sitting there playing in the sand, and I write Daytona because I'm at peace. I'm finally at peace where I don't gotta sit here and walk around with this chip on my shoulder, this edge. I'm in
got that
real calm. Yeah, I'm in the calmest state of my life at this point. So I'm writing in the sand. I write Daytona Mitch just because I was on that joint, and I like the way that rung. So when I sit there and go through things, or I sit there and analyze things, I always sit there and think about my name, Daytona Mitch, and Daytona is like a word of peace to me. It symbolizes a time of peace, so I always sit there and think about that.
It gives you that sense of nostalgia when you hear that word.
I just calm out, like, all right, let's think about what needs to go on here. And Runco Vida just came simply from a Facebook name, just playing around one day. I wanted to have Weed Life as my Facebook name, but I didn't want it to be Weed Life.
Right.
So I was like, all right, I'm gonna just, I don't know, how would you say this shit in Latin?
A different way, right.
I Googled it. I was like, I Googled weed in Latin. It was Runco. I was like, I don't know if that's right, but I like the way that sounds.
Right.
And Vida was life, so it was like, all right, Runco Vida. That should sound right.
Right.
So when I finally came back to the drawing table, like, all right, I'm coming back out with a whole different energy, a whole different everything. Like, I'm really gonna sit down and focus on this shit. What's my artist name? I was like, I like that Daytona Mitch shit because that's gonna always remind me of something. But I just want it to be different. And I just combined that Runco Vida with it, and I liked the way that it rolled off my tongue. So I was kind of like, all right, that's my baby. With that. That's my baby. I'm gonna run with that.
Right.
If it was a child, Daytona Mitch Runco Vida. I love that. So
that's dope as shit because it's really like a whole story to your name. You feel what I'm saying? It's like a whole process to, all right, I was running with Mitch, then Daytona means something special to me, and then Runco Vida is my way of saying that, you know what I'm saying, I'm a Herbalife. It's about my Herbalife, so that's dope as shit. So you want to speak on, like, since you in the mix of coming up in the Philly rap scene, what's it like coming up in the Philly rap scene? Because I know you was telling me about how you think people scared of you and all that. I want you to speak on that.
I mean, listen, I say this, I've been around a lot of people. I've been around a lot of people, and I say this, a lot of times people give me the same face, and they like always kind of ask me the same question, like, fuck you from? Like, like what's going on here? Right. Shit kind of, you mean? And it's like, I know when I focus in, I can honestly, if we in the finals, it can be a lot of ballers on this court. If I'm locked in, I'm KD on the court. Ain't nobody touching me. Ain't nobody touching me. And I gotta sit there and run with that because at the same time, like we was talking about earlier, healthy competition is good. Some people look at, what you about to say?
No, go ahead.
Some people look at shit like, I can't compete with him, so I'm not going to acknowledge him, or I'll just discredit it. Some people look at healthy competition as, this person is either A, better than me, and I want to get to that level, so I'm going to attack that person, or I'm going to just learn off that person. And then you got other people that look at people like, this person is good in their way, and they doing A, B, and C, so I'll support that. And you know, it's also a reflection of my mindset on this shit too. I'm one of those people, like, I just got a chip. I'm Russell Westbrook. I got a chip on my shoulder, like, because for me to be as great as I am, and I know that I'm this great, I feel like I'm downplayed a lot because I don't got the popularity other people got, the politics. And it's not that I couldn't do, because I know a lot of people.
Right.
I could be in the same positions as people. I just don't move like other people. You feel me? I'm completely different.
Right.
I'm like the Bruce Wayne to the bullshit.
Right.
I like to move in the silence and shit and build shit organically.
Right.
So I'm not going to sit
get
there.
into the dumb shit.
Yeah, I'm not going to sit there and deal with the politics and the fake smiles and shaking their hands and shit to try to sit there and get like approval.
I feel you.
I can very easily take my ordeal, go somewhere else, and really make the noise that's appropriate.
Right.
But the way I look at it, I love Philadelphia's competition. So I feel like it makes me better. I could go anywhere else and just catch a bunch of vibes and songs. Philly makes me a better rapper because there's a bunch of rappers in here. But I feel like when you put the combination of rap verses as well as song structure, I'm elite.
Right.
I'm elite.
I definitely agree with you. And that brings us to the next subject of your latest project, Sins. I thought it was a great project. To me, it came in with such like a vibe of you, like just like Father Like Son was such a great intro, and it was kind of embodying, from what I know, your type of vibe and your atmosphere and who you are. I just want to know how long it took you to put the process together, the whole project. What was the process of putting that together? How long have you been working on it? And what was the significance of picking Sins as the word, shit is not safe? Is there any significance to that?
Well, I'll say, little fun fact, like Father Like Son, that's actually my pop on the hook. He sings on the hook of that and shit.
Oh, wow. So that's why it's called Like Father Like Son?
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
dope. That's dope.
Yeah, that's exactly why it's called Like Father Like Son. And the whole process, like, writing a project don't take as long as sometimes putting together a project for me. But that particular project might have took like 6 months to write out, which was particularly long for me because I kind of stretched it out. I was like, I wasn't trying to rush it. But that process was kind of really, I look at my projects like stepping stones, so everything is always about getting better. And whether I was going to feel like that was going to be my hottest project or not, I got to get to a point where I'm comfortable with the music at that time to sit there and say, all right, I can put this out. Because ultimately all I'm going to do is, once I put it out, I'm going to analyze it to figure out how to get better.
Right.
So I want people to grow with me.
See your growth.
Yeah, that's my third project.
Okay.
That's my third project. So it's going to be people that's just coming on and they think that's my first project. People that's listened to me since Music Therapy 2 don't think that's my first project, even though it's called 2. But people that's listened to me from the first project want to keep seeing growth and keep seeing different shit. And sometimes...
When did you drop your first project? So how long is this timeline of your projects?
My first project came out when I was 21, so that's...
What?
About
5 years? 6 years ago?
About to be 6 years ago, so... yeah, that was like 2012, my first project. In fact, yeah, definitely 2012, my first project came out. Because I had a song on there called 12/21/2012, which was supposed to be like the day that the world was going to end. I ain't put it on. I ended up not putting it on there though, even though I released the project. So yeah, it was definitely 2012. Then my second project came out 15.
All your projects on SoundCloud, right? SoundCloud.
The first one is not on anything because I actually lost the files. I lost the files. My cousins are the only ones that have them. And if you watch this, I ain't paying you $250 for nothing. I want my music. You hear me? It's like nah. Shout out to Gaji and Shizzy. I love y'all.
Put it right on blast though for the world. My man crazy.
But yeah, so they actually just recovered it not too long ago, which was great news. I was like, damn, I ain't hear that first project in a long time. I thought that was lost to the world, which was kind of cool now, and it's even better now that I got it because it's like a lost files thing. But my second project is on SoundCloud too. My third project is going to be definitely the one. My fourth project is definitely going to be the one that I know is going to be like going everywhere and just like it's going to take off.
Okay, that's your next project,
That's
right?
my next project.
Name.
We going, but all right. So before I get into the name and the whole next project, the reason why I called this project Sins, and if you go and listen to the last record, I sit there and say it on the second verses. This shit is hard. My next shit is game, because I really believe like, all right, this project is all right. Like for standards, it's going to be acceptable, but this next project is going to be
checkmate.
Checkmate, exactly.
Right.
And so I had to go into it knowing that like, all right, I'm going to have to kill this joint.
Right.
So I gotta be comfortable with this, but my next joint, I gotta kill this shit. So this shit is me saying it's not safe.
Right.
What's coming, like the DMRV.
So it's basically like a prelude.
Exactly.
Ew.
Exactly.
That's dope. That's dope because it was a dope prelude. You feel what I'm saying? Like I said, if y'all haven't heard it yet, please go listen to it. The joint is crazy, man. To me, it had at least 6-7 bangers on it, and it's what, like 11 track joint. You feel what I'm saying? But like I said, the first time I listened to it, I played it through the whole way. Didn't feel a need to skip. You know how sometimes you just feel that need.
This is my song.
Yeah,
which is cool because I constructed it because I was like, all right. The way I looked at that project was, if you like beats, there's gonna be beats on there for you.
That's what I want to. That's another thing I want to ask you. Do you have a specific producer you use? You go to different people?
The way I go about it, I can't really tell that process.
Okay. You might have to kill me. I can tell you, but I'm gonna kill you.
Like, I don't know, I kind of got my own way about that. I don't really want to talk about that one, but
okay.
It's like, I will say this. The way I've been thinking of recently is I like to deal with one producer for a project.
Okay.
Because like before Nas's Illmatic, people used to deal with one producer, and once Illmatic came out, it gave like its birth
that like to different producers.
I can go to multiple people.
Right. Like they didn't know different people was making beats.
But then once that happened, people lost the ability to understand sequence and like carrying a thought and things of that nature. Carrying a feel throughout the album. People started throwing random beats together. It's like no structure to this album. You just listen to a bunch of random music.
Right. And that's the special thing about Illmatic, though. Even though he went to different producers, it still had a structure and a feel to it.
It carried a certain
consistent feel.
Continuity, like you said. So that's one thing. Like I sat there, like if you like beats, you're gonna like certain beats. There's gonna be beats on here for you. If you like hooks, there's gonna be hooks on here for you. If you like bars, there's gonna be bars on here for you. It's all feel music.
Brought everything.
Go to what you want to.
It definitely checked every box, y'all. Definitely checked every box on that type time.
Yeah, go to what you want to hear. Like it's gonna be different people that's gonna want to hear different things. So, but the next project is definitely more structured in a way that it's like definitely like showing a lot more growth.
Okay. Okay. Do you have a producer in mind for the next album yet?
Yes, I know. Once everything is finalized, I'll definitely give him the shout out and everything. I want to give him the shout out and it's not final.
Right. Then you got to make other moves.
Then you like, oh shit. What about such and such?
Right.
What you talking about? You watched that interview? People watch too much. Y'all got too much time.
Real shit though, real shit though. I feel you on that. I feel you on that. But what's your favorite track? What's the track you most proud of from Sons?
All of them.
All of them?
No, I'm joking.
I'm about to say that.
Damn, that's actually. I'll start. I'll be in between Stunt 102.
That's that shit.
10 Toes Down, and Magic Man.
Magic Man, that shit.
Those are probably like my three, like, it's probably Magic Man, because once that shit comes on, once I hear the woo 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 woo, I be forgetting it's my song. Like, a lot of times I got it, that's why I said, I don't appreciate my music the same as, you know, somebody else might, because I'm always listening to figure out how to get better. But
you always critiquing yourself.
I'm always critiquing myself, yeah. Magic Man is one of those songs, I just hear that shit, I just like...
You let go of the critique and just rock out.
Fuck is this nigga right here?
Right? Who is Bull? That's
one songs, yeah. Like Stunt 102 is just like I like the way that song is sounding, so it was probably, and then 10 Toes Down, that's a deep record kind of, so I like those three.
And I peeped that you didn't have any features, right? Besides your dad, right?
On Rank Up, my young man Jay Sims is doing a lot of the background vocals for me. Like if you go and listen to it, you'll hear ooh, and he's doing a lot of the background vocals. He actually, I shouldn't say doing a lot of. What I got him to do was he basically ad-libbed the entire record after me, just like doing him, and gave that like T-Pain effect, and I loved it so much and I appreciated that. So shout out to Jay Sims for real as well. He's definitely a dope young artist.
R&B.
He's very, very versatile.
Okay.
I told him dead up, like, I feel like you have a transitional sound where I have a traditional sound. Your salary cap is a lot higher than mine because of what you're able to do, the ranges.
Right.
You got to capitalize on that because he's a very talented, like, songwriter. He has a great ear for beats. You know.
Where's he from?
He's from the city. He's from
what part?
He's from West.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna tune into him, so maybe look out for a music shout out for him in the future.
Yeah. Jay Sims got a lot of good music. He's just young artist on the grind. He constantly is working to get better himself. Like he got that. He's gonna be a great because he got that work ethic, that determination, and when you want to do this shit, that's all it comes down to because there's gonna be a lot of no's. There's gonna be a lot of why are you still doing this?
Yeah.
It's not about that. It's really, really about fine-tuning your craft, continuing working on what can I get better at, what can I improve in, because eventually it's gonna crack.
Exactly.
If you keep twisting at the combination, the safe gonna crack at some point.
Exactly.
Like, just keep listening.
Don't let somebody else tell you to stop just because you want to.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You can't let that wall stop you. Climb that wall, break through that wall. Do whatever you gotta do because it's always gonna come. It's gonna come in different forms. It may be coming in the form of, like you said, people doubting you. It may be coming in the form of you doubting yourself. Sometimes you just gotta fight through all that and really find it deep down your true art and the true artistry and what you're doing. That's why you really gotta love what you're doing. You feel what I'm saying? Because if you're just doing it for the quick get, then.
Well, that's why a song like Faith is that, and you know, I do love Faith as well off of Sins because. When I created it, when I'm saying I keep my faith up in God, it's not like we was talking about earlier, it's not like, you know, you're waiting for the Savior to come down and sweep you off your feet and take you to the next step. Like, ye are all creators. You mean, if you read the Bible, if you believe in the Bible, then that means you obviously believe in everything it says, and it obviously sits there and says, ye are all gods. When you look at yourself in the mirror, you should feel like you're a god, a goddess. You got that ability to create and manipulate situations to your favor. So doubt is something that I drive off of a lot, whether it is self-doubt or outside doubt, because a lot of people look at it like doubt stops a lot of people from a lot of things, actually.
Of course.
Self-doubt is probably the #1 killer, but
of course.
You know, doubt just stops a lot of people from a lot of things, and where it stops other people, doubt kind of makes me feel like man, fuck what you talking about. I'm gonna go ahead and go do it anyway.
Right.
Only thing I can do is fail.
Right.
But a failure ain't a loss. A failure is another
lesson.
opportunity to a win.
It's a learning lesson. That's all it is.
You know, the Warriors was one of the most laughed at franchises for a long time.
Right. Look at them now. And that's how quickly it could change as long as you stick to the plan and you believe in yourself. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah. Poor franchises that continue to be a poor franchise. Somebody
Right.
that wants to be a contender, wants to be a winner, is going to continue to build on themselves internally and let that show.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And not let the success or maybe some of the good things that do come stop the grind. You feel what I'm saying?
Exactly. I could have very well sat there and just looked at Sins like, oh, I got to win. I'm going to just rest on that.
Right.
Once I analyzed it, I'm like, all right, there's a lot of room for improvement here.
Right.
And it's not sitting there saying that it wasn't good. It's just saying you can be better. Mm-hmm. And I always feel like you can be better.
Right.
Once 4315, which is the next project name, once 4315 is done, I'm going to listen to it. I'm going to be super happy and say, I can get better.
Right.
With
and
new
continue working from there. Just keep building and building and building and building and building until, like you said, you get to that point where you just break through that ceiling, honestly. But what's the significance of that name, 4315?
Well, 43. So that one I really went through like a real life, and like you'll hear it a lot more in the project. It's like it's kind of, you don't even want to get a plot away almost. You almost don't want to get a plot away. It's like a lot of things that I went through. I went through a big transition in life, like one of those. Instead of going from rags to riches, I went from riches to rags again.
Right.
Like, shit, I'm back. What the fuck happened? And you know, it's
something a lot of people can relate to. We all had them high points in life, and then sometimes life is bound to bring you back down sometimes. You feel what I'm saying? So
it rehumbles you again. And it's like, it's definitely a lot more significant of a project because it's probably my final culmination of understanding who I am, what it is I'm here to do, and how to capitalize in a way that I never really knew how to capitalize on, like my real life situations, like really being able to, because I always made music just to make music that I like to hear. And it's like, my cousin once told me, like, damn, you had such a crazy life, you don't talk about it nearly as much as you could and should.
Right.
You know, all these other, I'm like, yeah, but I don't really make music to be depressed. Like,
right. You gonna listen to it and you gonna be sad yourself. So you don't want to.
For shit that I like to hear, but I don't gotta really sit there. I can make kind of the same records that anybody else can make without having to be anybody else.
Right, without having to be fake, basically.
So yeah, it's like I like to be able to have those same vibes, and it's authentic as well. But it's just I ain't really out here to meet. It's not a diary. That's how I used to look at it for me.
Right.
And this is finally like I went through enough, and it was such a deep process that was like, the only way I'm gonna get through this is my music.
Right.
Like this is really me understanding what my music is really about. Like I said, I always drove off of doubt. You know, I don't look at failure as losses. I look at them as lessons and everything. This was a real low point where it's like, I got to be able to talk about this and get over it, because if not, I might lose myself.
Right.
So it's a real deep project. 4315 stands for the address 4315 Westminster Avenue, where a lot of things changed for me.
Okay.
So, you know, it was
serious situation.
It was serious situations and stuff that like grew me to a man. So.
So you gonna keep the same vibe of like not keeping off the features a little bit?
I mean,
you're not gonna have the features on there.
The way that,
I mean, it's gonna be a deep project, and it's like you want to kind of open up. So I'm assuming that you might keep that same type of vibe of laying off the features.
I was talking to my cousin. I was like, there was a couple records. I was like, yo, I could put, you know, I could get a couple features on this drawing. He's like, damn, that drawing, you could kind of just do it yourself, because everything I let him hear, I pretty much let him hear the entire project. And he's like, that shit's knocking. You might as well just do it yourself again. And that just don't be like me just trying to stay selfish and everything. I kind of You know, experience always gets you to points. And I used to want to do records with people, and I used to get people on records, but we'd write it out, and then it's like time to show up for the studio, and like people don't understand when you put your money into this,
right?
Like you don't got time to be playing around.
Right. We gotta knock this out.
You mean I got features?
You gotta put that work in, right?
Not too many,
right?
Any feature I ever got, the person came to the studio.
So who you got features with?
Jay Sims, my man Mean Rory. That's another up and coming artist, a great artist as well from West Philadelphia area. I knew him for a long time. Great artist. He just put out a project, MOB3, something that everybody should listen to as well. And then there's a couple records back in the day from people in my crew when we was rapping together. It's a couple of times I got them on records, but it's just like it'd be hard. Even them, it was hard to get them in the studio at the same, like match that same time frame. Sometimes it's like I started to get to the point. It's like, all right, I got to make this record, and I want this drum to be done, so I got to just do it myself.
Right, exactly.
I'll tell you the truth.
You can't sit on the beat. You can't sit on the beat.
I'll tell you the truth. Sometimes I hate coming up with second verses, third verses. I'm like, shit, I was done after the first one.
You know what I mean?
I'm kind of done with this, but you know, you got to kind of push it to the next level. So,
is there anybody in the city that you'd like to work with in the future?
That's a long list. I mean, but of course, off top, I'll probably just do 5. Real easy, of course. Sick, Ash Shakur. I love Drama's music. Core would be somebody I would love to do a record with as well.
That'd be a crazy joint.
I love Core's music as well.
I can just see y'all two killing shit.
That's sick in the back, y'all.
I was just thinking rappers, and you said that, and that's like, yeah, I would love to get a record with her too. I mean, it's a few people. If you even throw in R&B and everything, there's a young lady named Chris Mincy who has an excellent voice. Smooth as honey. It's a young lady named Soraya Nicole. She's a great artist as well. So, yeah, I listen to everything. I listen to everything. I listen to everybody. My God.
I feel like the only thing I really wanted to say is him and Tierra Whack would do like the craziest project ever. Don't worry about me and his project. That's coming. But him and Tierra Whack, that's what I really wanted to say.
And I'm a big fan of what everybody does. I'm a big fan of what everybody does.
I am too, man. The city is very talented, man. Like when I'd say this, what's possible with this takeover in Philly, it's not no joke, man. Once I started doing this and started looking at everybody, I'm like, this city is just a gold mine for real. We just gotta dig it up or cash it in, whatever analogy you want to use. You feel what I'm saying?
It's like, even though I sit there and say I got a chip on my shoulder and everything, I have no problem saying I love everybody. It's you got to be able to remove your ego when it comes to building something better.
Right.
You feel me? I got a chip on my shoulder because I feel like that makes me great.
Right.
But I'm not going to take my chip out on my chip out on anybody else or sit there and be bitter towards anybody else. I want to see you win as just as much as I want to see me win.
Right.
There's a brother named Mozzie who I was just randomly at Max's. And like I swear,
you reposted that recently.
Yeah, I reposted it and everything. It was crazy because it was like a magic show. I was standing there 1 second, there wasn't nothing going on. I looked to the left, you would have thought it was a fight or something. He got Joe doing his thing. I was like, oh shit, I love seeing people do their thing. So I automatically posted it just because it's like, it ain't no ego. They don't got nothing to do with me.
Right. I don't know him or nothing. Don't know him from a can of paint, but he out there doing his thing, got the energy, and it's nothing
you
but
should
love.
promote that from your city.
Exactly.
You know, if anything, it's Philly versus everybody, if anything.
For real.
If anything, but then, you know, at the same time, you still show love to anybody that you love from another city and everything. So that's why it ultimately comes down to not having ego. You
gotta put the ego aside.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying?
You gotta put that ego aside.
You can't care why or who's the reason why we winning or nothing. If we all get rings for this chip, that's all that matters.
I saw how some people switched up on me which was crazy because once he got signed, everybody, oh, it's lit. It's lit.
Right.
And I'm like, I was one of those people super happy.
Right.
I'm like, hey, why everybody stop being happy? I'm still happy that he's out here winning.
Right. Where everybody is. Right.
You should aspire to be that.
Right. It should be motivation. It should never be. It should never be hate. It should never be hate
with anybody. And like, you know, definitely big ups to everybody that's doing their thing in the city. Like, big ups to everybody doing their thing in the city.
Right. Shout out to everybody.
Shout out to everybody. You know, I ain't saying this just because he here. My man's Sick here, which is super dope. We go way back.
I just came to show love. I'm not even gonna be on the camera, guys.
We go way back.
Y'all hear his voice every now and again, though, clearly.
He, you know, he just dropped the super dope video. It's just like, it's constantly, when you sitting there looking at these things, you
constant work, constant connection, and just for real, like it's just connecting with people that want to create something bigger than ourselves. You feel what I'm saying? That's what it is to me. You feel what I'm saying? My thing is trying to build something bigger than me, something that can actually change.
You know, one of the greatest things about the Warriors is they're very unselfish.
Exactly.
Everybody knows they're great in their individual talent, and it's just about being great together.
Right.
Just be great.
Because we here to win the chip, right? That's all that matters. You feel what I'm saying?
Just be great together.
But let's get back to the project of 4315. You got a targeted date for the release?
Yeah, I was talking to my man just earlier today and everything. We're gonna start getting into the studio real soon. I ain't gonna say no dates because you know I don't want to give it no tape, but I got some stuff.
Right. What about a first single?
I ain't sitting on Sins and just waiting. Y'all gonna have more music coming real soon.
Okay.
Like
okay.
I actually, there was even more songs for Sins that I didn't put out. Like I actually got music I could just drop whenever I want.
Right.
I got a lot of music.
Right.
It's just always about how do I feel about where that's going to take me, and how does that tie into what I'm doing now? And if I don't feel like it's beneficial to what I'm doing now, I'm not going to drop it.
So that intrigued me. So if you got all this work in the tuck, that mean it was a long process or maybe a hard process of cutting down Sins and figuring out what songs you was going to put on Sins. What was that like? Why did you like sit down and actually say, all right, I'm gonna put 11 or what was it, 11 songs, and those specific songs? How did that process go?
You know, you try not to conform as much as possible, but at the same time, you do got to be aware of what's going on. And the days of 1920 record. Excuse me. Those days is not really like
right. You look at a lot of EPs that was coming out this year. They was like 5, 6, 7 songs.
Because people don't really have the same attention span. So you gonna put 20 songs out. I'ma remember 7, 8 songs, and I'm not gonna care about this project in 2 weeks.
Right.
Why sit there and waste that material when you could kind of just sit there and like I said, I could throw it out, I could sit there and analyze it, like, and even if I go ahead and quote unquote recycle bars, I never really recycled them because I never really used them. I found a different use for it that's better. Like,
right.
You know, you never know. It's kind of like, which I actually can say I've never really done. I just, you know, I always like to think, I always think about all the possibilities. But you just kind of always want to be ready, and like, only reason why I'm not really worried about dropping those songs specific is because 4315 was, the project itself was written up so quickly. It was the fastest project I wrote.
Oh, so it's already written. You just waiting to lay it.
I just gotta lay it.
Okay.
So it's stuff coming real soon.
Right. Like
stuff coming real soon for everybody. It's like I'm not waiting on it. It's just, you know, I'm about to get back in the booth. Like I said, I'm not going to really say when because I really want to start dropping and showing people some stuff. I got some real strong records coming out real soon, but you can definitely expect 4315 here way before the holiday season.
Oh, okay. Well, that's giving us some type of time frame.
Yeah,
that's some type of time frame. Yeah. And shoot, you talk about, for you know it, the holiday season gonna be here.
Before you know it, 4315 will be here. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
That's real talk. That's real talk. That's real talk, though, man. So, I want to know something else. Like, what is it beyond music? Like, is it bigger things that you want to do?
Oh, absolutely.
I know you was always into ball. Is there anything sport-wise you want to do, or is it?
Well, actually, that would be. I mean, I do want to coach young boys at some point, little children at some point. That is something I would love to do. Not would love to do. I'm going to do. I'm going to do that at some point. Coach children and organize some league at some point, just because I do love basketball, I love sports, I love what it teaches children, and then you can grab children in such a way that you can extend that beyond
At such a young age,
yeah.
when they so young and still.
You could teach them about, all right, you can tell the parents, instead of paying money fine, what we do is we take the kids, we clean up streets, we volunteer, we do a bunch of other things. That's your registration fee.
Right.
If your child can't comply to these things,
Right.
you know,
Other ways.
we can't really, you can't play without working as well. It's not all play, no work, and it's not all work, no play. You got to understand that balance, and there's a lot of ways to teach young children those things. But beyond music, it's crazy because I've been saying this since probably 14, 15. I always felt as though I was advanced with my mindset, and it's just about these days. I don't really wait for people anymore. I go do things myself now, and I do it. And it's going to keep building and building and building. And one thing I used to always say since 14, 15 is rap don't make you money. It puts you in positions to make money.
Right.
You create a likability. You create a brand. You create things that people want to buy into.
Right.
And the more
you're selling yourself through your music.
you're selling yourself, and the more organic you are, the better. Because if I'm out here acting a certain way, then I'm attracting certain brands to want to deal with me.
Right.
You mean, if I'm acting like a 40 OE rapper, 40 OE is going to want to market me.
Right.
If I'm holding myself to a higher standard, I'm looking at different stuff.
Exactly.
So I always believed in that, but that was what triggered my mind. Like, all right, don't stop at rap. Real estate is something I'm heavy into learning into how to get into. I would love to get into plays and stuff too at some point, just as an ode to my mom. If I did this for my pop, I'm gonna do something for my mom too.
Right.
I would love to get.
That'd definitely be dope.
Yeah.
Maybe you could have a role in one of my movies or something like that. You know what I'm saying?
You know, I'm a young Denzel, but I get into my bag, it's a rap. You know,
right.
You know, my nigga. Yeah, that's something I would love to do too. That's pretty cool. It's a lot of things. Like, it's a list, and it's stuff that I know I'm accomplished. It's just about creating that foundation, which is
and building from there.
Because it's all about generational wealth.
Of course, and that's the one thing that we all need to start promoting is that generational wealth and setting our kids up for better futures and setting their kids up for better futures. You feel what I'm saying? So,
I don't rap. I don't work. I don't grind for cars, chains, clothes, and shit. I'm a very low maintenance guy. If you're looking for, the next Ric Flair, I ain't it.
Right.
You mean?
Right.
But you want to see somebody grow into a position where they're quote unquote well off or whatever, but at the same time they look like you and me. I'm gonna be that guy for you.
Right.
Like Steph Curry to the league, where he just looked like a normal person playing amongst trees.
Right.
And it's not, because it's really all about having confidence in yourself to say,
exactly.
I don't need those things for me to be great.
Great, exactly. Or to, what's the word I'm looking for? Legitimize myself, or to just have that confirmation about myself that should come from within.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? And have that self-confidence. You shouldn't need certain things to have that confidence in yourself.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? And that's a great thing that you trying to promote and all that. But yeah, it was dope, bro.
I appreciate it, for real. I really do. Like,
interview.
I gotta say, this is my first interview. This is really, like, real life, one of my dopest experiences in life.
Right.
I learned to be real calm when I'm super excited.
Right.
and be real hype when everybody else is real calm.
Right.
Because I like to keep on edge and keep everybody else
That's
interested.
it.
But when I'm real excited, I can't really show my joy because otherwise I'm gonna look real crazy. I'm so happy about this interview. I want to dance on the motherfucking table and shit.
Bro, it's my honor, bro. It's my honor, bro. The project was crazy. I'm looking forward to 4315. Tell the people where they can find your music at. Tell them about your Instagram and anything else you want to just tell them. You know what I'm saying?
Alright, so listen. I want everybody to know there are 12 bodies inside the closet right now. 12 bodies.
Don't listen to my man, y'all.
Listen. You can go ahead and check me out on Instagram at, I don't even remember my fucking Instagram. Shit, that's how much I love you. D-Tona Mitch, thank you, B. You my man.
Be in the cut too.
Be in the cut
CEO
too.
of Two Rich
We got
Famous.
B, we got Sick, we got my man Mizzy.
You know.
I really, appreciate that. I'm on Instagram at Daytona Mitch. My YouTube is DMRV and then reversed like instantly, so you'll follow the V with the V and go backwards. Just stay tuned for the music. Like I said, I'm a low-key, Bruce Wayne type guy, so I like to pop up and save the day when it's time.
You got any performances coming up or anything soon?
I don't have any performances lined up yet, but I am working on a few things because I like to kind of put together productions myself these days. That's something else that I would like to promote is events. I got events coming up. I have a brand for events coming up. The Checker Flamingo.
I love to work with you on that. Stay tuned for that.
Yes. Checker Flamingo Productions is something that is definitely going to have the events rolling. I'm the head CEO of that.
What's the idea behind that?
Damn, that's a whole other story, bro.
That might be for another interview.
Yeah, that's a whole other story, bro. Like, sheesh. I'm about to say, I ain't bringing enough liquor for that. We could have sat here and talked all night if I had brought enough liquor, but I mean, I got some things coming up, and I would just love to see everybody continue to work, especially yourself. But before this ends, now you gotta shout. Y'all motherfuckers gotta start shouting out the interviewers and really appreciating what they're doing. What this man is doing is literally creating a platform for us young artists. And like, when you watch somebody start from the bottom, like this is not the next Sway. It's not the next Big Boy. This the first Mizzy. Y'all gotta appreciate that. Nobody doing this shit in the city right now, man. Like, seriously, y'all gotta appreciate the shit that's going on. Y'all gotta start really tuning into what's going on in y'all city. Stop paying attention to what's going on outside. Start paying attention to your city. You feel me?
And that's what it's all about, shining a light on each other, man, because our city is gold, man. It's a gold mine. That's all it is.
It's the best city in the entire country.
Facts.
It's the best city.
In the world.
That's in the entire world.
In the world.
It's the entire world.
Not the country, Craig. The world.
Entire world. Only because Madagascar don't got any cities.
Dope interview. Again, y'all can check them out on, what's the SoundCloud though? What's the SoundCloud?
Oh, my SoundCloud is DMRV.
DMRV.
Yeah. Damn, I damn sure did just leave out the SoundCloud.
Where to get his music at?
Yeah, you can find my music on. I threw out the YouTube. That's my first interview.
That's cool, bro.
But yeah, SoundCloud, DMRV, you'll find everything on there. I might fuck around and just drop that first project real soon, just so y'all get to see that.
Right. We definitely need a single real quick, real soon.
I'll say this. I'll give you this. I'll give you this little bit of information.
Okay, exclusive. MizzyWorld exclusive.
Next thing y'all gonna hear, your women gonna be cha-cha sliding in the motherfucking room for you in some lingerie.
Ooh, you going that lane?
Y'all, fellas, thank me later.
Like Drake said,
if you can't get no cheeks off of this one,
right? You just don't get no cheeks.
This one. Get endorsed by Jergens.
You did.
You feel me?
You did, because you don't get no cheeks. You know what I mean? But dope interview, bro. It was such an honor, man. Stay tuned for his upcoming projects. stay tuned for the interview. Y'all can check him out again at Daytona Mitch on Instagram. He's going to be in the caption. It's going to be in the caption. Y'all know what it is. Follow him. Philly support Philly. Somerville, my man be everywhere, man.
Everywhere. Yeah.
I'm in Manioc right now.
I'll be everywhere. You gonna see me around.
Yeah, y'all gonna see my man.
I'm
so
around everywhere.
Philly support Philly. Go check his music out. Y'all know what it is. Gang.